Hello, all. Welcome in to the Eric Zane Show podcast. The live stream is brought to you by Blue Frost IT, the managed IT service provider for the Eric Zane Show podcast. And for you, hopefully, catering to small and medium-sized businesses throughout the area. And hell, they might even throw a big one in there if they can handle that too. But what you got to hear is a tech team of Alan and Ashlyn that were doing this on their own after having a great career doing it for other people. And then they said, let's officially throw our talents at being a startup, our own company, where we can do what we know how to do for people in the tech industry. So what this boils down to is if you have a business that has some tech needs, you want to call upon them to be your go-to. If you don't have a team ready to go, that means that you're busy trying to slog through trying to get something repaired. That takes time, energy, money that you could be using to market or sell or do whatever it is that you do. You see how this works? It's like a domino effect. And then you're like, then you can eventually get it fixed, but you got to start from square one and reach out to Joe Blow, and then they fit you in on the schedule, and then it sucks shit, and everybody's like, fuck, it's terrible. And last I checked, this isn't the time to be wasting time. You're trying to catch up after the pandemic hit you right between the eyes. My point is this. Reach out to Blue Frost IT and let them explain to you how they can help you, okay? They can be your IT tech team so that if you do get in the weeds, it's like an insurance policy of expertise. Plus, Alan knows everything there is to know about college football, which is weird because he's such a dork. All right, Blue Frost IT, 616-200-8550. I say that with love. In fact, we got a Tech Tuesday event coming up right around the corner. Not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. We'll have that brainiac on there. And also, he's a master of woodworking. He's a master of woodworking, lovemaking, college football, maybe some nerd online gaming, being a sexy beast, and making sure that your IT is in order. 616-200-8550. Also a pretty damn good father, husband. And, well, he better be because he's got such an amazing wife. Owner of pets, pit bull owner. All right. Blue Frost IT, 616-200-8550. Kent County Health Department. Reminding you to reach out to them if you want to get your kids vaccinated for, all the stuff to protect them and keep them safe. Okay? Meningitis, measles, mumps, rubella, HPV, pertussis, whooping cough. All things that can really, really compromise the health of your children, okay? If you're an anti-vaxxer, don't go. I'm just kidding. I would love you to go, but you're probably too far gone anyway. Kent County Health Department, accesskent.com/health is what you need to do to reach out to them online, or just call them at 616-632-7100. I have a instructor of CPL training. God, I don't know what my problem is. Get your CPL at Prince Army is what I should have said. The next class is Saturday, November 7th. Call Steve at 616-204-1705. After that Saturday, you'll have all you need, the little certificate that the state of Michigan requires saying that you took the class, you passed it. Now go get your CPL. Somebody reached out to me and said, yeah, it's way different in Pennsylvania. I think in order for us to get a CPL in Pennsylvania, you just got to go basically to the Secretary of State or DMV. I have no idea how they do it. Pistol. How do you do it in Pennsylvania? I can't get to it. I thought I could find the email via search function on it, but I couldn't. So all momentum is lost. Let me start over. Get your pistol license by getting the instruction first from Steve Prince, retired U.S. Army Major. Call him at 616-204-1705. In fact, I'm going to call him a little bit later on in the podcast. I got to send him a text message. It's my last story, so it'll be later in the show, period. Is that okay? Question mark. I'm guessing around 10:30 or so. That's not true. It's going to be like 9:30. 9:15. All right. Okay. It is the 1st of October. I cannot believe it. Holy cow. The Eric Zane Show podcast begins now.
Powered by the Zaniacs, this is the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Boy, are we. Man. Just a lot to get to today. First of all, welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. This is a daily podcast covering news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Sprinkled in with some ridiculous tough guy talking, usually some degree of swearing and nonsense. And, yeah. So that's basically it. And, there is a lot on my mind today that is kind of like, I'm like dying to tell you about it, but I have to temper it all because otherwise I'll just blurt it all out. A lot of personal stories to get to today. And so, let's start off with, by letting you know that coming up, I have an update on me donating a kidney. I have this story that I have to tell you, and this update kind of crept up on us. It's a little bit of out of sight, out of mind. I'll detail that. But let me just tell you that today, out of all the things I've talked to you about concerning the kidney, today is the day where we find out for sure whether or not this is going to happen. And you might be like, well, Zane, you told us you can donate the kidney. Yes, I was given the green light to donate the kidney. But there's another variable that you must consider that I'll tell you about coming up. And this is ridiculously serious and nerve-wracking. My mind is there right now. Actually, my mind is in many places today with health concerns. I also have an update and something for you to keep in your thoughts. Actually, with that, I have an update on that, and it's something for you to keep in your thoughts and or pray about. Frankly, I like to say it that way. I talked about it. People are like, well, I don't pray, and I'm like, yeah, you do. No, I don't. I don't pray at all. I don't believe that. You may say that, and you don't know it, but you're praying. If you're thinking about it, you're talking to God. You're just late to the party. It's okay. You're still going to be able to be welcomed into the garden when it's all said and done at the end of the day, okay? But eventually, you'll be led to the party. There's people, I know who you are, and you know that I know who you are, and it's all good. We all love each other just the same. Today is all about love and thoughts and peace and all that shit. Yesterday was super aggressive. Today's more laid back. Yes. All right. You can check out something from my past today that, boy, I don't want anything to do with this. But you can, and I know you'll like it. I'm going to talk about that. One of my favorite bands of all time is coming back in their most original form as best as they can. I will tell you about that, despite, some real legal shit that should have kept one guy out for the longest time. It just goes to show you that time heals all wounds. I woke up this morning. Have you ever seen a live version of Woke Up This Morning, which is the Sopranos theme from A3, Alabama 3? Oh, my God, what a band. Woo! You know what? I'll leave that in the show notes of this podcast. The live performance of Alabama 3 singing and performing Woke Up This Morning, which, as I said, you remember it from The Sopranos. It's just a freaking great song. And when you see it live, oh man, I'm actually excited about the day, and don't know when that will be, when live performances at venues will happen. I mean, I seriously, it's been knowing that it isn't a possibility right now for the most part, makes me really, really, really want to see one, you know? And I think that that's like that with anything. You think about live sports, concerts, movies, stand-up comedy. I mean, I cannot wait to be able to go see these things as things slowly, we're not there yet, things slowly morph back into normalcy. But I'm really excited about that. I think a lot of people will be too, you know? All right. Anyway, I woke up this morning and I was immediately in a bad mood. And my posture, you won't believe it, when I if you could have seen me, I walked in and went, oh no. And I like slumped, like defeated, like wah, wah, wah. And I was like, oh, fuck, man. How the hell did I do that? I blame it on being busy. I blame it on just a complete bit of butt fuckery. And I was just sick about it. I even tried to silver lining it, but I don't know if there's any silver lining in it. It's not huge or anything like that. It just was a serious bummer. I discovered something that I did that was really, really stupid. I'll tell you that one. But first off, let me start with this. You may have noticed in yesterday's free podcast that I was really distracted at some point. I picked up my phone. I was like, whoa, okay. And I even debated, should I stop the podcast? And I voiced that to you. And I didn't. And probably, and I think that was a good thing, because I ended up, my mom has been diagnosed with COVID. Okay. And I just found that out. That's what it was yesterday. My sweet mother, and she's fine. She is okay. She doesn't have any symptoms. She is in the hospital right now, and I think she's going to be released today. And then, okay. So I got that out of the way. My mom has COVID. My mom is okay. And, but man, that was weird. My mother was not feeling well a couple of days ago, and I heard about this prior to yesterday's show. Hey, mom went into the emergency room. She's having trouble with her legs. She can't really move her legs. She's struggling. So I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? Are you kidding me? So, she, was taken, and her and Wally went. And then, then at some point, so the night passes, and then, Wednesday morning comes, and, her legs feel better. I don't know, it might've just been a little blip on the, in the matrix or whatever. And who knows what was happening, but she was feeling better. And I don't know if this is related. You know, I mean, Jesus, 85 years old, dementia, and, you know, who knows what's happening in her system. And they go, we're going to give you a COVID test. They give her a COVID test, and they go, it's positive. You have COVID. Oh, my God. Well, holy crap. So, yeah, you saw it here. I was like, oh, my God, mom's got COVID. Jesus. Called mom upon getting done with this podcast. And, first of all, I called my brother Jim. He spilled the beans on everything. And, yeah, so then I ended up talking to mom, and it was like any other conversation I've ever had with mom. Now, my mom is really, really tough. Just physically, she's still quite durable. All right. I don't have an idea that she's a little slow moving, but my mom is not, really weak or anything like that. She's quite physically strong. All right. And mobility is a bit of an issue, but she still does pretty well. She's kind of old school. So, you know, I'm talking to mom, and it's a little bit of a crapshoot. Each conversation is a little tricky, and you have to kind of like through the opening dialogue sense where she is mentally, and then, okay, I can proceed with the next line of questioning. Okay. And while talking to her, she is aware of everything that has happened. And then, but then she's like, yeah, I got it. Okay. So how are you? And I go, she's not concerned. Right in my head, I go, she's not concerned at all about this, because she wants to know about the kids and she wants to know about the podcast. I mean, she's very lucid and sharp. So we had a nice conversation. She goes, "What are you doing?" And I go, "Well, I'm making a recipe that I have to make, blah, blah, blah." She goes, "Oh, well, tell me about it." So I'm like giving her the ins and outs about the slaughter of the Turks, Armenian meatballs. And so, by the way, I'm making that because a friend of the family's mother passed. So it's time for some comfort food. So yeah, that's right. Busting out the old slaughter of the Turks, Armenian meatballs recipe. Which, by the way, those fucking Azerbaijanis are at it again back in the old country, and no one's talking about it. Another offensive just the other night against the Armenian people. Armenia is surrounded by assholes. They have been at war with the Turks for as long as all of us have been alive. They have been at war with the Azerbaijanis. These sons of bitches want nothing more than to kill Armenians. So, yeah, that's happening again. They are surrounded by assholes. The Armenians are, and it's just fucking terrible. And no one lifts a finger to help these people. It is absolutely awful. All right, sorry, a little bit of a tangent. So I'm talking to my mom for extended time, and yeah, dude, it was like a normal conversation with mom. And so I'll check in with her again today. And apparently the way this goes now is and Wally has to get a test. Hopefully he doesn't have it. But, I mean, this is tricky business here. I mean, you don't... Now, what I'm curious about, though, and I talked about this on the Patreon, is you hear about false positives all the time. So my mom at this it's not a nursing home, this apartment living with care for the elderly is what it is officially described as, is a really, really nice place. Top notch. I mean, this is not like some dumpy 1970s nursing home that you walk in and it smells like piss, for God's sake. This is a nice place, and they have a distinct protocol that is set in stone. Hell, if you even drive by the place, they've got like security. Get out of here. Nobody goes in. This is not like a fucking Whitmer COVID drive-in or anything like that. This is a legit type of setting where no one gets in, no one gets out, and COVID is virtually non-existent. There have been a couple of minor COVID concerns, but I don't know how she got it. And that leads me to believe that because they're doing a blood test on my mother, that maybe we'll find out, that's just my own theory, that she doesn't have it. We'll see. Who knows? I mean, we've heard so many stories over time about false positives. Hell, the football player Matthew Stafford, they jammed the thing up his nose like 10 times and said, boy, he's got it. Oh, yeah, he's got it. No, he doesn't have it. So, but to recap, mom has COVID since last I've been told, and she is okay, and that's that. But that was kind of on my brain. Wanted to inform you about that. Let us hang out. Let us shoot each other with paintballs. Let us eat pizza. Let us drink wine. My God, this show. Hey, we're talking COVID. Let's hang out. Okay, so this is what's up. First off, paintball happens Saturday. The Oh My God, We Killed Kenny. Paintball War number 10 at TC Paintball. More coming up about Kenny on the show, about what will be a ridiculously awesome weekend with this dude and his family. I cannot wait to tell you about this. And just kind of like in an anticipatory way of what is happening and what is going to happen. Okay, so paintball, that happens Saturday. Now, that starts at 4 p.m. Get there a few minutes early if you're going to sign in, because there's going to be a lot of us. It's going to be like 40 people that have to pay their money and get set up. While that's happening, we'll be having a pizza party, all right? BC Pizza in Grand Rapids is right on Lake Michigan Drive. I want you to buy pizza from these guys because I've got a deal where I talk about them, and you know what they do? They give me all the pizza I could possibly want, all the soft drinks, all the cups, all the plates, all the napkins, all the forks, all the knives. They give it to me all for free. And all I have to do is mention them in hopes that you buy their pizza. And who wouldn't want to buy their pizza? bcpizzagr.com. Thank you to BC Pizza. And they have so much more than just pizza there. They got subs and whatever. I mean, all sorts of a fantastic menu. just go to their website, bcpizzagr.com, and then you can take care of it that way. Thank you to them. So we're going to shoot the shit out of Kenny's titties, and it's going to be awesome. And then that ends. And then what do you do after eating pizza and shooting Kenny's titties? You go get more pizza. We are going back to the scene of the crime for Ben's blackout drunkenness. And by the way, don't forget, Ben will be at paintball. If you want, I can still take more people for paintball. If you want in, it's as simple as sending me an email. Eric@ericzaneshow.com. That's just so I can get the head count. You don't even have to, technically. Just show up at TC Paintball in Grand Rapids a little bit before 4 p.m. Saturday. And then that's it. You're in, man. Okay, you get the free pizza party. Ben will be there. Lurch pussed out. That's okay. And then afterwards, we go over to Pepino's downtown. Bring your dumb mask. Don't. By the way, paintball is outside, so that's all good. You got the 2 paintball fields there, Tactical Village and Airball. That is the inflatables that you kind of hide behind. 2 fields. My God, it's going to be awesome. Afterwards, we go to Pepino's downtown. I'm guessing that it will crawl into there with welts all over our bodies at about 8 p.m. Again, free pizza, free breadsticks. Thank you to Pepino's downtown for that. You buy your own drinks. You sit in your booth. No wandering around like a dick, all right? There are some COVID precautions. If you're wandering around, you wear your mask. And when I say wander around, you're going to get pizza. You go to the bathroom. There are some rules we do have to follow here. You can't just sit there and say, fuck it, man. Well, then they're going to throw your ass out, and I'm going to laugh at you. Stay in your seat. I'll wander around and say hi to each and every one of you and talk to you all and talk about the welts on Kenny's titties. Okay, so that's a busy-ass day. Then, next week, the chili cook-off. There are some protocols here, too. It's Thursday, October 8th at 5:30 p.m. I have an invite on Facebook in the parking lot of Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid. This is a 3-team setup here. You got Irvine's, you got me, you got Henry Steffes. We've all come up with the whole plan for this. If you're going and you plan on showing up, make sure that if you first of all, you bring what you want to drink. Second of all, we'd like you to bring a chair. If you want to make chili, you can make either traditional, white. That's it. There's no more chilies. Traditional or white. And we're going to award best traditional, best white, and best overall. I've got a number of the sponsors that are going to be there, and I have a sign-up. I actually have a Google document sign-up that Megan put together. And if you have any questions about it, you can reach out to Megan. It's all there on the Facebook invite. Make your damn chili and hang out with us. The plan is everybody's going to get one of those freaking muffin tin type deals, and then you're going to get a spoonful of each chili, and then you're going to, oh my God, I'm going to eat like a chili king, and then you're going to try each one, and you're going to vote for who's the best to get the trophy. Oh my God. So we'll all be together on Thursday, the 8th. Yes. If you could give me a heads up that you're coming to Chili. I get anxiety that no one's going to show up to this shit. That's just my own dumb brain. So please let me know, Eric@ericzaneshow.com, that you're going to come see all of us at the Chili Cook-Off at Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid, 5:30 p.m., October 8th. Mark it down and let me know. I'm not quite done. Great Legs Winery, Brewery, Distillery, Friday, October 23rd. We're back there. That's right. Now, this is not like an official sanctioned event from Great Legs. It's just us meeting there, enjoying what they make and sell, and then that's it. Socially distant, following all the rules as we always do at Great Legs Winery, Brewery, Distillery on Friday, October 23rd. My God. I'm telling you, I do more on this show now than ever, and we're in the middle of a pandemic, and it's a podcast. What the fuck? I never did anything at BBL, ever. Nobody ever did anything. I think I did like one remote where you like show up and say, yeah, come see me. Or radio doesn't even do that anymore. No one does that. They never did it before the pandemic. It just kind of stopped. All right. So I wanted to get that out of the way along with the story about my mother. But I have a really, really amazing thing that I want to tell you about right now that unfolded before my ears and eyes. You could have knocked me over with a feather when this all unfolded. And let me just set it up by saying the kindness and the goodness of the people that listen to this show and support this show in sponsorship reached an all-time level high yesterday. And I'm going to tell you about it right now. I promised you that right at about this time on the calendar, I would tell you who is going to be getting a brand new high-efficiency frickin' Cadillac Maserati 96% plus efficiency comfort maker install heater from A&E Heating and Cooling. That was the plan. So I had been sitting down with so many of these people who are every single one of these people that have sent them in. They all need this. Okay. There is a need for every single one of these people who sent something in. So that's a really, really tricky thing when you have to read all these and you actually say, okay, that's the person. And so I'm reading them. My family members are reading them. And then we actually had a meeting. And frankly, this is the exact way we used to do it on my old show, Free Beer and Hot Wings. Greg was kind of like the leader of that whole thing. And so he used to give us a stack of, okay, you know how much paper is in, like, when you open up a new pack of copier paper? It was that big of people who wanted the holiday break-ins. And then we'd all have to read them and then, okay, boy, let's figure this out. At least that's how we did it. I don't know if it's the same way now or if maybe it was even different as I got to the end of my time there. But for a period there, that's how you did it. And it's like, oh, God, this is really tough because you're reading all these stories and you want them all to be recipients. But, I mean, obviously you can't do that. I think, by the way, that they just, if I'm not mistaken, they just started their own charitable entity, like a legal charity that it's really fantastic. It basically takes that whole concept and makes it like funded year round so that in the event something happens to an individual, they can, like, sight unseen, without any red tape or anything to slow the process down, award people actual cash dollars to try to be made whole after something horrible or a string of medical bills, things like that. And I remember talking about that way back in the day, about that wanting to be a thing. I think that actually came to fruition with their show. So that's very, very cool. You can check out their website, and I'm sure there's all the info there. But that isn't about this. I got to that type of rabbit hole there because that's kind of what I decided to do with this. It's really the only way to do it, to try to find out who can possibly be receiving of this. But so I had an idea, and then all of a sudden, after discussing it with my family, we kind of all parked on the same thing. So this is how it went. I'm going to tell you in the order that it all happened. And there are some freaking plot twists in this story like you wouldn't believe. So don't you dare. If you're walking around and listening to the live stream on Facebook, brought to you by Irvine's, or YouTube, brought to you by F45 Training, Byron Center, or on Periscope, enjoying the live feed on Twitter, brought to you by Blue Frost IT, don't put the phone down. Take it with you in the shower so that you can pay attention to the story. Or if you're listening on the recorded podcast, wherever you download podcasts, don't get distracted. Pay attention to the story. There's a couple of twists here. A little M. Night Shyamalan coming at you. So now I was hoping to simply just read to you this person's note who is getting the furnace install. Okay, and then I was going to tell you about the interaction I had with the person via the phone when I told this person. That all did happen. So let me just start with that. This person writes to me because I said, feel free to nominate yourself. I want you to do that. I want you to tell me what's going on. Definitely nominate yourself or nominate someone else. Okay, this person wrote this. We're not ones to typically reach out for help or nominate ourselves, but I figured I'm going to do it in this case. You told me to do that. Backstory, 3 years ago, I was the main source of income in our household. After a few what I thought were small issues, I received a phone call at 9:30 at night on a fateful night before we left for a vacation. It turns out I was diagnosed with colorectal cancer. My wife and I flip-flop roles. She went back to work full-time, and I became the stay-at-home dad to our 5 kids, our 5th and last, also while going through chemotherapy. During my chemo treatments, surgeries, and tests, we were also taken back to court, oh boy, by my ex-wife and had a major custody battle for my daughter from my previous marriage. Oh boy. By the way, as I get into this, this is just another, this is a slice of life, okay? This is just, it's another, something I probably wouldn't have thought about 10 years ago. And there's a lot of long, boring reasons as to why I think this way, but every single person on God's green earth has something weighing on them that's causing them stress in some fucked up way. There are very few people that exist that just sit there and say, everything's great. Every single one of us has something that's not so great happening to them. Every single one of us. And I'm not pointing that out, just say, hey, isn't that something? It's just I think just kind of a centering and refocusing on how we all need to treat each other, I guess. And, that sounds pretty rich coming from a jackass like me. But at the end of the day, I think we all feel the same way about being sweet to each other, helping each other in some way, shape, or form. And today is full of that with this crazy-ass story. Son of a bitch, am I excited about this story. This person writes, during my chemotherapy, my wife and I decided to make every attempt to turn our situation positive. So I decided to further my career and become an EMT. This dude is going through chemo and a custody battle. Does he sit there with his wife on the pity pot and say, oh, no, someone else? No, he decides to go to school. Holy shit, that's incredible. The court stayed firm to my request, and we gained 50-50 of my daughter. All right, there you go. That's a win. But that, of course, put a financial burden on us on top of medical bills. I am now in my 2nd remission of colon cancer. Whoa, so that means that the process happened once. Hey, I'm in remission. And then that news happened again. So this sweet soul had to get that double whammy of bad news. But right now, this person is okay. I'm in my 2nd remission of colon cancer. I've been medically released to go back to work. And I work 3rd shift, the overnights, in attempts to avoid daycare costs. I love that, by the way. I always love that when people scramble in order to make ends meet. You know, that daycare cost can be so damn expensive. I remember that Diana and I did the same damn thing. She worked afternoons because I worked mornings. We didn't even see each other. We pass. All right, I'll take care of Jim and Jack. Maddie wasn't there, and she's gone for the day. Holy shit. But that's what you got to do. That was attempts to avoid daycare costs. I am a caregiver at an assisted living facility and a paid on-call firefighter for our local fire department. Wow, so that did work out. That's awesome. While my wife continues to work full-time during the day. The financial burden of the medical bills still looming, and obviously a family of 7, 0 savings, as my health was our number one. After a routine checkup on our furnace, we discovered the furnace will have to be replaced soon. It is old, very old. I'm not sure if we can pull that off financially. Things like this can't be planned financially for us. So if it goes, it's going to wipe out what we can make happen for Christmas for the kids. Oh my God. It's in my nature to say, don't worry about us. We'll make it, and we will. I know there are others. Oh, here we go. I know there are others who deserve it and probably need it more. I want to say thank you and to Joe Martinez for doing this. Again, I give it all to Joe. I'm just a mouthpiece, man. Y'all are amazing people, and it was his idea, too. Love the Zaniac family. Thanks for considering us for this. Okay. So, after discussing this with my family, we said, that's where this goes. And, I wish that we had room for every single one of these. Who knows? Maybe one day down the road. You never know. So that was it. I thought, okay, now Joe had said, hey, when you find out who this is going to, let me know. So my plan for the rest of the day was I was going to, this is in the evening, call this individual and tell them. And I was really excited about that because it's really great news. And then I was going to call Joe. So I called dude, and he was floored. He couldn't believe it, flabbergasted. And it was so, I could tell as I was telling him, there was like long pauses, and his mind was just going. And I got the impression that I kind of shocked him. So I was like, okay, listen, I'm going to let you wrap your mind around this. Just know and try to sleep good. And that's it, man. I'm so happy for you. This is fantastic. So all of that shit that I just told you, all this stuff that was burning on this guy's brain and his wife's brain and it's the Christmas, and he doesn't have shit. Fuck. It's gone. It's gone. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. Oh my God. This is fantastic. So I'm like, man, what a great, great night. I call up my man, Joe Martinez, and I'm like, hey, buddy. So yeah. And I tell him, he goes, okay, now I have to tell you what's going on. I go, what do you mean? He goes, there's a lot going on here that you don't know about. I've heard this before. This sounds like a Zaniac joint. It sounds like somebody's up to something fantastic and whimsical and awesome and amazing. You're right. This is how I understand this. Apparently, once this idea was presented, someone, and I think I know who, but I'm not for sure, and I don't want to say yet who spearheaded it. I will when I get all the information. One particular member of the Zaniac family began a effort. You know what? I'll just say who I think it is. I think it's Kenny in Nashville. I think Kenny did this. In fact, I'm just going to have a short phone conversation to determine that. And I'm not going to ask for any more details of it because I haven't told you the details. But stay with me here, please. There's a lot of really amazing shit to talk about. Hey, Siri. Call Kenny. No.
Calling Kenny. No.
Hey, mate, you're going to make me cry. Oh, man. Hey, so I'm theorizing that you started this. Is that correct?
Man, no. I mean,
well, was there?
I don't want it.
Who?
It's all Joe, dude. It's you. It's
right.
Joe.
Right. But okay, hold on. I'll get to that. I mean, I understand. But did you approach Joe about this?
Well, yes. After speaking with Jason Thierry and a few other Zaniacs, we wanted to do something.
Okay. Hold, pause.
Okay.
Pause. So it was kind of like a group effort.
Oh, for sure.
Okay,
100%.
good. Can you, is there any way, as I tell this story, quickly peck out a responsible parties of amazingness so that when I'm wrapping up the story, I can go down that road? Or do I not do that?
I think really it's just there's tons of people who participated. There's tons of people who wanted to. It's just, I don't think we need to list.
Okay. All right.
Unless you really want me to.
No. If you, I'm taking your lead here, man. I'm in the passenger seat. You guys are in charge, and I'm just excited about that.
Well, did you find out who's holding all the funds?
I will get to that.
Okay. All right.
Okay, buddy. I'll thank you so much. I love you more than anything in the whole world.
We love you, man. And I got to tell you, I never spoke to Joe before this past month, but that dude, he's got a heart of gold. He's a good man.
Oh, I know. It's coming. Jesus, this story. Okay. All right. I got to go give the M. Night Shyamalan plot twist.
All right, man. All right. Bye.
Okay. So here's what's up. I'm talking with Joe, and he says, so this is what happened. Zaniacs, the concept was they're going to go ahead and on their own raise a ton of cash for a second furnace install. And I go, what? He goes, however, the way it all unfolded is, it's, I don't know, I would guess in the neighborhood of $4,000, depending on the size of the home for this. The Zaniacs raised behind the scenes a substantial amount of money, but it wasn't enough to pay for a second. But Joe explains to me that in probably one of the most generous things I've ever heard of in my entire life, while that already is amazing, Joe then said, well, hang on, guys. I got an even better idea. Why don't we do this? I will just install a second furnace setup exactly like the first one, and we'll do it the same way. And then the money that you guys raise, that cash, as opposed to paying for the furnace, fuck it. I'll just do number 2 and worry about it later, man. This audience and God has been very good to me, and I'll tell you more about that in a second about Joe's opinion or thoughts on that, what he told me. But I'm going to install a second one, and then you guys take that money that you raised, and what we'll do is we'll take that cash and split it 50-50 and give half of it to the first recipient, guy who has colon cancer in remission, and then the other half to a second person who's getting a new furnace. You get a furnace. You get a furnace. You get $600. I'm like, what? Huh? He goes, yeah, man. So pick a second one. I go, oh my God, that's going to be hard too. And then he goes, and call that first person and tell them that they get $600. What? I'm like, I can't believe this. So I called up dude number 1, and Joe also told me something else cool. And I'll get to that in a second. So I called up dude number 1. I go, look, man, you're not going to believe this. And I spill the beans about what I just spilled the beans about just now to you. I go, so now, you get the new furnace, and they're giving you a grant of $600. And he goes, are you serious? I go, yeah, dude, that's the way these people are. They're just, I'm so happy. I could not wait for the show to start today to tell you about this. Okay. And then I also had this for him. He goes, and because Joe explained to me, he goes, oh, and by the way, Eric, on my advertising I do with you, I want you to explain to people that when they install a 96%er, which is the best thing you can get. Okay. If you have a furnace that's a 96%er, it's sipping fuel, or in this case, natural gas. It just sips it. And your energy bills are so ridiculous. Joe did mine, and I have an old one, and he was able to get it up to about 89, which is good. And it's awesome. My savings on my DTE is unbelievable year to year because of the work he does. He goes, this is a 96%er. So DTE wants you to install those. And when you do, they give you a rebate. So I, with your first person there, since they have DTE, they get another $450 in a rebate for the install. So now, in the course of half an hour, this guy has just been informed not to worry about the furnace. It's taken care of. And then he gets a follow-up call saying the Zaniacs are giving you a $600 grant, and DTE is giving you another $450. What? So, man, I tell you what, I am just on cloud nine about this. I am so happy for that dude. Son of a bitch. That just goes to show you, man, at a moment's, at a blink of an eye, you can be at one certain spot in your mood and temperament and vibe, and then all of a sudden you're on tip top of the world because something like that happens, and I'm just ecstatic about it. It's just, I guess it means it serves that to show that people care about other people, and that's really awesome. I'm so happy about this. I'm not done here. Then we had to get back to reading. And so Diana and I and Madison and No Filter Kevin were sitting there reviewing and discussing all of these other stack of other people. And we came to a conclusion that we have another recipient, and I'm going to read you the email that was sent to me about this person. It was a nomination type, like a couple nominated a person. Okay, so I'm going to read that now. Dear Eric, and I did change names, and then the first story I didn't include any names, and the second story I've changed names. Dear Eric, we'd like to nominate my mother-in-law Carolyn for the furnace install, so graciously offered by Joe Martinez and A&E Heating and Cooling. Carolyn's a wonderful mom, mother-in-law, and grandma. She's the type that would give you the shirt off her back, and it's proven by the fact that she welcomed us into her home to live with them a few years ago to help us get back on our feet after a job loss. Unfortunately, she's a recent widow, as we lost Will not long ago, her husband, and is currently living in a mobile home that my father-in-law put additions on that has a very outdated LP furnace. In fact, it's the original furnace from the mid-1970s. The last few years, the furnace has been steadily having worse performance. I kind of want Joe Martinez to do an analysis of the old one to see how shitty it was. This is a 5%er. Will was the only one to keep it going and keep the pilot lit. If it's very windy, it has a tendency to go out. So whenever there's an issue, she's had a loss. My father-in-law, prior to his cancer diagnosis and passing, was saving up and planning to have the furnace replaced this year, among other major home improvements. Unfortunately, those savings evaporated quickly when the medical bills began to roll in, and all home improvements were put on hold. The last few years before Will's death, they had to close off the back bedrooms in order to adequately heat the living space in the room. This past winter, Carolyn used electric heaters in fear that she would overwork the furnace, causing it to break down. This isn't convenient or safe, and we worry that there could be the potential of a fire. Carolyn is faced with either having to run the furnace constantly to keep a comfortable temperature, which in turn would cost her much more in propane use, or keep space heaters going just to maintain livable temperature. She's on a fixed income. She struggles with meeting all her monthly utility bills, let alone save enough to replace a furnace. She's staying afloat for the time being, and if we were in a position to help her with a new furnace, we would, but we're not able to at this time. Please consider Carolyn for this amazing gesture from Joe. She listens to the show with my wife from time to time, and when she heard about the furnace offer, she was moved to tears, both at the wonderful idea of helping someone in need, but also from realizing that she is now one of those people and needs a helping hand. Of course, like most people, she has her pride and would never ask others for this level of help. No matter your choice, it is so amazing for you and Joe teaming up for this, and I'm confident that whomever is chosen will be well deserving of the charity. Thanks for all you do, and God bless. Okay, so then I got back on the horn, and I called these people, and that was it. And then the information also was passed about the $600 from you all, that loving grant, the love grant. Let's call it the Zaniac love grant. So there you go. And shit. So when I was talking to Joe Martinez, he goes, yeah, the Zaniacs, they wanted to do this because it's you. This is you bridging this all together. And he was, and the only reason why I'm saying that, I'm not saying that to do one of these, pat myself on the back. He wanted me to say that. He wanted me to make that known. And so, I don't take that credit at all, in any way, shape, or form. I'd like to think that I'm kind of a crusty, mean asshole most of the time, but he wanted that known, that's what they wanted known. So I will carry out that thought, and I appreciate that, and I think it's very kind of you. And I couldn't be. This is absolutely a high-level mark for the show. That is just, incredible. The only thing is, the LP gas obviously is not DTE, so that reimbursement doesn't occur for Carolyn. But still, this is everything will be afforded to her, and the fact that she is going from that rough scenario with that furnace that the loved ones were concerned about to just a badass bit of machinery that, hell, don't even worry about that giant LP egg running out as sexy Joe Martinez does his magic on it. My gosh. So that was my night last night. All of that amazing information. I'm just floored at the kindness and the generosity. And I talked with Joe Martinez, and he told me an interesting story about why he does this. And he described this to me when he was young, right around the holidays. The family dog got hit by a car and was in bad shape. And they had a choice. The family had a choice for Christmas presents or put the dog down. And they decided on Christmas presents. No, I'm just kidding you. That would have been ridiculous. They decided to spend the money on the pooch, of course. Oh, my God. Right now, Joe Martinez is like, no, I didn't do that. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm going to give you some forbidden Spanish. Holy shit, you stupid asshole.
Dame mi palo con tu culo. Tu madre es una puta.
They get the dog fixed, and then, as Joe detailed the story to me, they were a person who knows them, or I missed some of the details. Somebody gave a bunch of money to get them on their feet so that they could have a Christmas. And that stuck with Senor Martinez. Okay? And it burned into his brain. And so how many years later pass? And it from a young man, a little boy, to right now, for this exact moment in time, that's how it all was paid back. It paid forward, I guess. So, wow. That's God again. You hear it? Right in your brain, it's God. Stu McAllister, Rick Steinebach, that is baby Jesus right there saying this, do my will. Do my will. My gosh, are we blessed? Just kidding you. Those guys are like, yeah. We know, we love you. We do think about you. They're just at a different spot. I don't want to make it seem like they've got like upside down pentagram burning over their beds. All right. So that's my story, man. That's it. Is that not the greatest thing in the world? Brought me to tears. It brought you to tears too. I know it did. Wow. Hang on. I had to do a big sniff. Hang on. Booger Rama. All right. Thank you to A&E Heating and Cooling for being a sponsor of the show. The open of the show, of course, it's brought to you by A&E Heating and Cooling. And, it's really important that you reach out to Joe because of it's a time of the year that you get your furnace checked, man. It's been off for quite some time. You just flip it on. And sometimes things get a little wonky with that. It's a sensitive piece of equipment. It is a bad idea to do that. Please have it checked, okay? Tuned up, if you will. Make sure it is running in tip-top form, tuned up and clean. That's part of it, and that costs you $79. So you call Joe, okay? This is what you do. You call him at 616-516-8579. First of all, you say this.
Tu madre es una puta.
He'll laugh when you tell him that his mother's a whore, okay? And then you say thank you for being you and that amazingly generous gesture that you and the Zaniacs did. And then say, will you come to my house and tune up my furnace for $79? Would you do that? And he'll say, yes, I will. That's how it works. 616-516-8579. It's a fairly simple concept for this podcast. I show up here every single day and do this damn thing. For some reason, you keep coming back despite how shitty it is. Thank you for that. And then you engage sponsors. When you engage the sponsors, they keep my lights on. I keep doing the podcast. That's it. Thank you. I've got several other businesses, of course, that help make this all happen. Sarah Honda is one of them. If you are thinking about getting a new vehicle, I would encourage you to go to sarahhondagranville.com and check out the new or certified pre-owned inventory. They even have a used car place, if you will, pre-owned, all on one big, beautiful, glorious campus along Kennewa Avenue near 44th Street by the Cracker Barrel, across from the car wash. In beautiful Grand Rapids, Michigan, okay? Drop by Sarah Honda, and please drop my name when you visit there. And take a look at the inventory or check it out online, sarahhondagranville.com. Got another amazing sponsor who stripes parking lots. It's a series of American Hockey League referees and linesmen. You know, it's been too long, and it's always a struggle to get this guy on the show, but I'm going to try it because I love this guy so much. Hey, Siri, call Tim Mayer.
Just to confirm, you'd like to call Tim Mayer?
Yes.
Calling Tim Mayer.
I've kind of lost my juice. Back in the day, I'd call anybody and they'd pick it up right away. Nowadays, I usually just let it go to voicemails. Fuck it. It's just Zane. We don't want to talk to this stupid poverty ass. All right. Come on, Tim.
Zaner, what up, buddy?
I'm so happy to hear that. How are you?
I'm good, my man. How are you?
I'm on the podcast right now, and I just hadn't talked to you in a long time, so I wanted to say hi.
You're a good man. What's new?
Let me just say that I was talking about shoreliners, and I said I just haven't heard from you, so I just called you out of the blue, and you pick it up and called me my hockey name, Zaner, which there's only a hand. Jimmy Howard is the first person to call me Zaner, and it's stuck. No, everybody calls me that's involved with hockey, and it makes me happy to hear that I have a hockey nickname.
Well, yeah, I mean, we might not have hockey starting, so at least we can still. Did you watch any of the Stanley Cup Finals?
I did. It was fantastic, but it was a little weird.
It was very, very weird.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it the same way I did. It's just I don't know. It felt like they were stuffing 50 pounds of shit in a 5-pound box.
No, I hear you. I don't think you're alone. I think we were all. It's for the guys involved. I'm sure it was same old, but for all of us fans and people who weren't there and weren't involved, I think it was really tough to embrace it in September. Yeah,
I know. It's just nutty. We're supposed to be starting training camp here. Boy. And I think actually when it gets recentered and put onto the new season, I think that's going to help out,
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to it. I just don't know if we're going to play hockey until 2021.
I don't want you to tip your hand on too much because I know you can only say so much as a league official. But my first thought was December 4th, but I don't know if that's going to happen now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, right? No, I'm right.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
No, I'm right with you. That's all. Yeah, we've been given December 4th, but I just with the way things are, I can't see us starting then. I think it'll be pushed back, and if that's the way it has to be, then that's okay.
Yeah, you've been very busy, though, striping parking lots, and that's just been going awesome. I'm really proud of you. I'm happy for that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we've had circumstances. We've been really lucky and fortunate. Had a great season so far, and we probably 2 months to go. We'll paint till the snow flies, and we're still calendars full. Still have a lot of projects. We've still been busy, although the weather currently has slowed us down a little bit.
Yeah, a little rainy. When you're starting the day because you have other league linesmen and stuff like that work with you. Who are they by name, by the way?
The guys who work with me, who paint with me?
Yeah.
Oh, so Jake Rakucki is an American League referee, ECHL referee, Grand Rapids born and bred. Benny Golick is from Holland. He is a North American League linesman. Works for the USA Hockey Officiating Development Program.
Right.
Pat Richardson, who's a linesman in Grand Rapids. Also, he works for Howie's Hockey Tape. So, little plug for Howie's Hockey Tape.
I love that. Legendary Howie's Hockey Tape. Everybody knows the logo. Everybody is that logo based on his own face?
I don't know. Max, the owner, we have a group we play hockey with on Tuesday mornings over at Eagles.
Yes.
And their whole crew, the entire staff there at Howie's comes out and plays. Great group of guys. And I'm gonna have to ask him whose face that is.
So when you start the day, have you ever considered starting it with the Herb Brooks speech, gentlemen? As you're getting ready to go stripe a parking lot. Great moments meet great opportunities.
That is a great speech. I think we don't take anything that's serious at Shoreline.
No, man. Hey, well, I tell you what, it's great to hear your voice. I just want to call. What is your what is your nickname? Hockey nickname? Is it Timmer?
No, I just think no one's ever called me anything but Timmy in my entire life. So, I thought I was going to outgrow it at some point, but I never did, and so I've just embraced it. So I think every player, coach, official, everyone that I know just calls me that, and that's the way it's been.
You don't have to break up fights as an American Hockey League ref. You leave it to the lineys, but have you ever been in a spot where you've had to and it went poorly for you?
Oh, yeah, I've been punched in the face.
Anybody famous? Yeah. Anybody famous or became famous hit you with a good punch?
No, I don't think anyone that's has punched me. Yeah, no, I mean I've had a lot of good run-ins with guys that are famous NHL players now, but never punched.
Yeah. Hey, well, that's very, very cool. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking to see you back at the rink soon enough. You and the boys. So I just want to call and say, hey, okay.
Absolutely, I appreciate the phone calls, Zane. Keep doing your thing. I love listening.
Yeah, man, you're a good man. Thank you, Tim.
All right, be good.
All right, there you go. The one and only Tim Mayer from Shoreliner Striping. Online at shorelinerstriping.com. They stripe parking lots. They stripe the workplace. They paint the athletic field. So ADs, remember that. Yeah, you need the damn field painted. Go to the one that Zane talks about on the show. They also sweep parking lots. So if your parking lot's filthy and shit all over the place, you have them show up. They got the damn jet engine thing. Just blows it all in the streets. Guys driving by like, what the fuck? There you go. Okay. This morning at 5 a.m. my time, the Lost Zane recordings drop. The WBBL years. This started April 7th, 2016. It was a Thursday. The show ended January 4th, Friday, January 4th, 2019. So all of the shows from those two dates are slowly but surely going to be released on Patreon. The one that dropped today was my first show on WBBL. And I am mortified that it is out there for you to listen to. My brain wasn't in the spot that it's in right now when I did that show. So I will guess that if I heard it, I would be, well, hey, I'm very, very critical of anything that I say or do. Honestly, it is painful for me to listen to anything. In fact, I'm not bullshitting you. When I do listen back to anything, I constantly say, who the fuck would listen to this? I'm not kidding you. It's that bad to me. So, but I will say that when it comes to that particular era, I'm actually much more now comfortable with what I say and do near a microphone than what I did back then. You must understand, I had been a sidekick for a long, long time, and leading a show is a little bit more tricky, Eric. Your old pal Eric found out. Doing monologue style for almost 2 years now, it's become the learning curve has taken place, and I feel much more comfortable not only leading a show but monologue. But back then, none of that had happened. It had been years since I led a show, so it was tough. I will not listen to that show. And also, I was extremely vulnerable and sad and hurt at that time, and I let it show. I talked openly and candidly, and I did speak too much about where my brain was upon getting fired, and because I did that, I lost friendships, and here I sit. So, but in order to release the whole scope of the work, I needed to include it all. Just know that if I had to go over and do it again, I would not have aired all of the things that I said at that time. Because, well, when you're alone doing that and no one else can respond to you to maybe dispute or tell where they're coming from. Like if I'm talking about how I felt and it's ultimately going to make my former host, Greg, Chris, Steve, Joe, and the employer look bad, feel bad, and they don't have the opportunity to be part of that, that's why I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. And, I mean, I'm a lot older now and time has passed. And it's like, I shouldn't have done that. It was just way too much revealing that, yeah, you felt that way, but you were also extremely butthurt. So, yeah, it took me the longest time to get over that. It was just a fucking shit show. Add into the mix that I'm sitting across from a guy who on this Thursday, April 7th, 2016, I would come to realize that, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exactly 7 days and 3 or 4 hours later, I would be given the most shocking news ever that I have ever heard about anything professional. I was more shocked at the news that I got 7 days, 3 hours later than I was when I got fired. Not even close. The news that I got was so shocking and so damaging that I read it. I laid down on the floor of the studio and said, what the fuck is going on? What is happening? And then the real fun began. Because the next day, that would be Friday the 15th of April, I was alone on the air. Yeah, that actually happened. Now, I had nothing to do with any of that horse shit. I was informed about all of the things that made it happen. But no, man, oh boy, that was rough. And that was that kind of set the stage for a little bit of a nutty ride at BBL, because then Julius was forced in, and Julius was not my guy. Julius was a producer. He should have stayed a producer. And that was his skill set. All of a sudden, he's thrust into the role of host. And, he's probably not too sure about me in the first place. And BBL's been just a fucking clusterfuck from day one. And, oh, fuck, now here we go with this. It's no surprise that he only lasted a certain amount of time, and then he said goodbye, too. So, oh, man, this is rough. I won't listen to it. And I can't tell you when I will ever listen to any of those shows, but I know a lot of you do like it or are interested in the history of it and would love to hear it. So I'm making that available on Patreon only. I did publish a 10-minute, a teaser that I posted on the regular podcasting platform so people could listen to it. And I say in it, hey, if you want the whole thing, you got to go to patreon.com/Eric Zane. So that is available right now. And I'll say this. As you listen to it on Patreon, if there's something that you think I need to hear that is just, you're not going to believe what you said, or you're not going to believe the irony here, let me know, and then I'll check it out. But I refuse. There is no way in hell that I will listen back to any of those shows. For sure not the early ones. Just too fucked up, because when that was all going on, you got to understand, I had horrible anxiety. I had suicidal thoughts. I mean, it was bad. And, well, all that does is it reignites how badly I felt. So I'm sorry. I don't want anything to do with that. None of it. I think that when I got with Julius to some degree, and for sure with Ben, I think we started to, I can listen back to that and have less concerns about anything weird happening inside of my brain. There were some real fun moments. And people have been pointing them out to me, and I've been going back and like, yeah, you're right. That actually was a fun thing. And when I did post recently, I took some time off for a day or so, and I posted some random shows as Lost Zane tapes on the free pod. And I listened back and I was like, fuck, this was good. Ben and I were killing it, man. We got so much done. Just two people. We got a lot of shit done. We had just the whole dynamic, and I don't want to, but I will give a little bit of credit to Redheaded B-Lips. She actually did have some strong insight that helped me to some degree. And to be better at it. So I don't necessarily like to say anything positive about anybody outside of like Ben on the show or at the radio station, but I do give her some degree of credit for that. I'll say the nasty shit for later on. Maybe I'll get over that too. I don't know. But anyway, that is available at patreon.com/Eric Zane. Okay, here we go. It's time to talk kidney. Now, remember, I talked to you on this whole process of me donating a kidney. Not long ago, I was given the green light, okay? They said, Eric, you're healthy as a horse. You will have no issue whatsoever donating this kidney. And they make very, very sure. I mean, if you've got any red flags, you're not going to be able to donate a kidney. That's how difficult this is. So I passed everything. I fucking crushed every damn test they had. They would look at this guy. Fucking A, man. He took the stress test to this level, and his heart and lungs were barely working. His blood pressure's like a fucking Olympic athlete. Son of a bitch. Look at this dude. Little fat in the belly, but whatever. Get that A1C down. Get that LDL down. You're golden for life. Just get that kidney out of this guy and give it to the dude. Okay. Or so I thought. There's a little bit more to this. And today is the day that I find out something very, very important. Something that has been out of sight and out of mind for me. Because I'm not the person. The person I want to give this kidney to today finds out if he is, in fact, a worthy candidate. The same way they said to me, Eric, you've got a green light. He's got to go through that too. And I haven't really talked about that with you. But today's the day that my friend finds out if he is, I hate to say it, let me pull that back. He will find out whether or not he can receive the kidney. And I'm not saying that he would die if he didn't receive the kidney, but it's crushing to him. It's absolutely crushing to him emotionally. If they say no, because we have gone, this is the farthest he's ever been. So I'm telling you, keep him in your thoughts. This is absolutely huge. He finds out at 9 his time, which is noon my time, whether or not this is going down. And then from there, we start to plan a date where I go to California with my podcast shit and my wife, and they get it out of me and they put it right here. And you know where they would put it? Right in his belly. They don't put it where the old kidneys are. They just leave them there. They just like, boy, let's just shut them down. They'll just sit there like cars on the fucking front lawn of Kenny's house. And that's what we'll do. They put it like in your belly, man. So today's the day that dude finds that out. And then they, so it's, I'm entirely optimistic that it will be good news. And I'm just sending positive vibes to my pal because he has had numerous defeats. He had the little victory with me telling him I was given the okay. But then his anxiety crept back up. His brain tries to play tricks on him and say, hey, you're gonna. And he told me yesterday, it was a conversation. He goes, my brain sometimes plays tricks on me. He was on dialysis, actually, while I was talking to him. And he said, and it tells me I should just say I'm not worthy and I should just give up. And when you hear those words, that's pretty freaking real. And I go, okay, yeah, then I understand that. But I go, how many dialysis treatments do you get a week? He says, I get 3. I go, okay, so we're looking at about 12 a month. I go, at the most, you've got mid-30s dialysis treatments remaining. And then you're never going to have to be in that room again. Because I'm going to give you this damn kidney. And it's a strong-ass kidney. And it wants in you. So start days, how many, get a calendar with numbers on it and rip them off. 1 less dialysis treatment. Okay, it's coming, man. And tomorrow you find that out. I'm talking to him yesterday. Tomorrow you find that out, and then you can breathe, okay? Then you've got some pep in your step. All right, you're going to live. You're going to be okay. I told you I talked to God, didn't I? And he made it clear to me that I have to do this. And he would not have told me that if you're going to get in the weeds. So I know this is happening, man. Believe me. So just be thinking about my pal, and I will update you when the time is right. Wow, what a day so far. I'm going to get my man Steve Prince on in a second. Got to tell you this story. I'm going to tell you a story about the house room blues. I come home one Friday. I had to tell the landlady I done lost my job. She said, that don't confront me. Just as long as I get my rent money, that's Friday. Now, Friday I come home, I didn't get the rent. And out the door I went. God, I love that song. 1 bourbon, 1 scotch, and 1 beer. All right. Henry Steffes says, call upon him. The ADHD, by the way, is just, it's awesome today. I am fully charged with ADHD goodness. It's the best, man. I'm so happy I got that. Eric, I've got some news for you. You've got ADHD. Yeah, what do I do about it, Doc? Nothing. You've adapted. You're fine. Get the fuck out of my office. The Steffes Group of Keller Williams Realty. This is what you do. You reach out to Henry. Go to thesteffesgroup.com. Okay? It's all there. You see Henry's beautiful wife, his amazing staff, his cherubic, handsome face. And then you're like, hey, Zane says to reach out to you. I want to sell my home. He's like, oh, man, here we go. You're plugging into the system, man. This is great. Henry's going to go through your house, and right away you're going to be like, yeah, I think I can get about 300. What do you think? He's going to say, I don't know. Yeah, I looked at Zillow. I know stuff. Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I'm just going to go through and do my thing, and I'll let you know. Yeah, I'm not asking for anything less than 300,000, man. So whatever you do, now I know Zane sent you, but still, 300 G's. Okay, let me have a look. It's going to go through 10 or 15 minutes, check a few things off. He's going, all right, okay. Tell you what, I'm going to send you an email tomorrow and give you some more information. All right, remember, not a penny less than 300 G's. All right, no problem. Okay, then the next day you get an email. Yeah, you should list this for about $335. What? Yeah, $335. How? Because I'm good. I know what to do. I've got knowledge. That's why you hire me. And then I wish Henry would say, quit asking so many fucking questions. But he's too nice of a guy to do that. But I will. TheSteffusGroup.com if you need more information. I've got a brand new gym on the show, training facility. And this is some serious training. We're talking F45training.com/Byron Center. In Byron Center, Michigan, a growing community right here in the west side of the state, right in the Family Fair Plaza in the Byron Center, kind of like their downtown area. This is not a big place, Byron Center. It's kind of busting out at the seams. It will be, I imagine, like in 5 years, everything will be different because everybody's moving to this really, really fantastic place to live. So, these people got to get in shape. Go to F45 Byron Center. That's where I recommend a 45-minute workout every single day. They start on the hour, every hour. All the details about when they do it is on their website, F45training.com/Byron Center. And then you just sign up, man. It is a group workout setting with personal care. Now, I don't give a shit if you've got huge man boobs, Kenny, and you haven't even done anything for a while. It doesn't matter. You're going to do the same workout that the person who's the Olympic level athlete is doing at the same time. Okay. You're doing the same workout. Hey man, I can't do that, man. I got tits. No, trust me. You can do this. Okay. And I'm not going to try to explain it to you. They're pros. They'll do it all for you. Hey man, I want to do it. I don't want to just sign up seats. Well, what you do is you do it for a trial. You go to F45training.com/Byron Center and you hit free trial. You click on that, and then you do it for 7 days free. And if your tits are too in the way, Kenny, then you stop. Okay, don't do it. You're a quitter. I don't know why I'm taking a run at Kenny. I love him so. Anyway, if you're the type of person that quits, then you'll quit. But I know you're not. You're going to keep going. F45training.com/Byron Center. 7 days free. Sign up. Mention my name. I kind of got in the weeds this week in terms of time. We had a loved one's mother pass, and that means we got visitation and funeral. Otherwise, I would be going this week. I am going to go very, very soon to F45training.com, and I'm going to do a live video of me actually doing the workout, and you need to see this. It'll be so much fun. Thank you to Charmaine and Mark, the brother-sister tandem team, who have put F45 Byron Center on the map in this community. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to get Steve Prince on in just a second. But first, this is the incident in question. A guy's driving down the road in Florida, and he's got a dash cam. It's one of these dash cams that looks forward and looks back. Okay? And he posted the video. This guy, he thinks he's justified. I don't think he is. In the video, you see another car get behind him, wants to pass him, doesn't really like what's going on in front of him. So the guy gets right on the guy's bumper who has the dash cam. And the guy in who has the dash cam, him and his friend are like, hey, look at this fucking asshole right behind us. And he brake checks him. He steps on the brakes right as the guy's probably like 6 inches from his bumper. Well, the dummy, because he was so close, hit the car. So then the dude in the car behind him whips around. And then a little bit further down the road, you see a still image because the guy who owns the dash cam posted the still image of dude who was behind him holding a gun out the window at him. In the video that dude who's got the dash cam posted, you see him pull out from his totally ghetto style, pulls out a pistol from his waistband. No holster or anything, just all ghetto. He pulls the fucking thing out and shoots through the fucking glass at the guy who was tailgating him. And his buddy's like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop shooting at people. What are you doing? Dumb shit here says he's justified. Was he? He says he feared for his life. I don't know. Now, I would say no, based on my experience, but I'm not an expert. I'm going to get an expert on it in just a second, but this is that video. These two guys are sitting there just talking, all right? Talking about the guy behind him. Hey, he thinks he's a race car. Hey, you motherfucker, he's behind him right now, the guy in the fast car who's got to get brake checked. There you go. He hit him. He hit him. You hear it, and then you hear the driver go, what the fuck are you going to do, bitch? As the guy races around him. So the guy races around him, and the guy points a gun at the dude. Okay, he still hasn't pointed the gun yet. A little bit of time passes. Just hear the road noise. You hear the road noise. All right, now that the pointing has occurred, I believe, and then dude has pulled out the gun. We're going to get 2 camera views of this with audio. Yo, don't do that. Stop. Okay.
Shot a gun?
Dude shoots out his own windshield. This is from looking at dude who pulls the gun.
Fuck that bitch.
So you'll hear it again.
He's in the right. Check it. Oh, he's putting the hands on. Relax. Yo, get out, Russell. Oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
Yo, don't do that.
Yo, don't do that.
Oh.
All right. So, dude who pulled the pistol and shot through the glass, he says, yeah, he actually turned it into the police and posted it. He says, look, man, hey, I had to fire my weapon at this guy because he pointed a gun at me. If you're driving, I don't know. Okay. I'm trying to picture myself driving, and then someone points a gun at me while they're moving away from me. I don't know if I'm justified. I can't say. I'm not an expert. I would say if I'm driving and someone points a gun at me, I think I would duck and do evasive maneuvers. I would step on the brakes, get distance between me and the bad guy as quickly as possible. I think I would be better served. I think I would stand a better chance of surviving if I see the gun. If I can instantly, he can't see my foot stepping on the brake, put distance between me and the bad guy. Because if I have to take the time to pull that pistol, point it, and shoot through my window, I think that the first maneuver I should do is try to get myself safe before that happens. I don't think I'm justified in pulling my pistol in that scenario. But I need to bring in my instructor to ask him because he knows all. This is retired U.S. Army Major Steve Prince.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Hey, thanks for doing this on the podcast. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
By the way, before I get into the meat of this story, it's been crazy because you sold out all of October for CPL training, and now you have November 7th coming around the corner. And people are just flocking to you to get the training. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I think there's probably 10 people in the November 7th class already, and then I added a Black Friday class as well.
Oh, you did?
Or whatever is appropriate terminology for the day after Thanksgiving.
Of course.
Right?
So do you contribute this to it? It has to be because of the political climate and all of the nonsense going on in our streets. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, even you and I, when COVID hit, we had plans to get together, and the unknown was huge. Like, I didn't know what the next day would look like, and we have all these scenarios in our head. So we, I'm sure you remember, we postponed getting together to do some promo video just because, for a little while, it's like, what's tomorrow look like? So we hunkered down and then go from there. And it's all the contributing factors, the riots, the defund the police, everybody there's no stability right now. So we know that when you call the police, they'll show up to write the report.
Right.
They can't be everywhere. So there's a great, and I love how you bring faith into the class or into the show a little bit, but I posted a picture I saw in the window of a gun shop in Texas. It said, you might not believe in God, and that's okay. You might not like guns, and that's okay. But if someone breaks into your home to kill you, you're going to pray that somebody with a gun shows up to protect you.
Yes, indeed. I love that. I love that. So I like to, sometimes I worry because I have a story about somebody who pulled a pistol. I'm worried that sometimes people don't do enough training or they forget their training and they pull the pistol at inappropriate times, which leads to trouble. Is that a fear of yours sometimes?
Absolutely. Someone shows up to my class who's never shot a gun before, and we get them pretty confident and overflow them with information in 8 hours. But then I likened it to driver's training. If someone taught you how to drive in 8 hours and said, all right, now go, you got to learn, how to drive in the snow, how to drive in the rain, how to drive different vehicles. You got to continually train. And, the internet's a great resource for different trainers. I watch a handful of guys who I learn stuff all the time. And I've been doing this, since I joined the Army in 1990, I've been around firearms a lot. So, but to contrast that with states that have constitutional carry, I think you mentioned, you walk in, you ask for a license and they give you one. And some states you don't even need a license; you can just carry because they call it constitutional carry. Well, that's a Second Amendment gun guy like me. That's best case scenario. The government's not interfering at all, but yet those people may not have any training at all. And so it's best to get your initial training, keep learning, because your life may depend on it.
Beto O'Rourke, we got into this a little bit about the AR-15. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to take away your AR-15. And Biden says if he's elected, he's going to make Beto O'Rourke in charge of gun control. What do you think about that?
I don't see that happening. There's a bunch of gun slogans, but there's a flag. You'll see the "Don't Tread on Me" flags. There's another one that says "Come and Take It."
Oh boy, you think? And, wow! Oh my God!
Yeah. So it's the problem is most gun. Well, let's restate this. So most gun owners, 99.95%, are law-abiding citizens. So what sucks is when they pass a law saying, hey, now your magazine is illegal. Well, as a legal gun owner, I want to follow the law. But then they're going to ask me to turn in something that even California at the Supreme Court said their ban on magazines that hold more than 10 rounds is unconstitutional. So if a potential candidate says he's going to take my stuff, come and take it.
Steve, I love the way you put that, and I wanted to run a scenario by you. I don't know if you saw this in Florida. Dude who's got a pistol license and is driving. He's got a dash cam which sees both in front and behind him. Vehicle races up behind him. Guy with the dash cam brake checks him, and then the guy tailgating actually kisses the back end of the dude with the dash cam. Well, then the guy in the hot rod behind him whips around, and while he's passing the guy with the dash cam, points a gun at the guy with the dash cam. Now, the next thing that happens, and the guy who pulls out his pistol who has the dash cam and shoots through the glass at the guy driving away from him who was tailgating him. And he has the variables are aggressive driver points pistol at guy with dash cam, but is still driving away. And then guy with dash cam pulls his own piece, shoots through his own glass several rounds at the guy as he drives away. In my meager knowledge, which isn't nearly as vast as yours, I am saying that the guy who fired the rounds is in the wrong in that case. Is that correct?
I would agree with that for sure.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Because my theory was he should just evade and get away from the guy who's pointed the gun at him.
Yes. Yep. And again, and I have to say this over and over again in my class. I can't give any law advice because I'm not a lawyer, but I can tell you what the law says. And every state's a little bit different. There's a challenge on that too. Michigan, we have what's called the Michigan Self-Defense Act, and you're justified in using deadly force if you have an intimate threat, like an immediate threat of death, great bodily harm, or sexual assault, rape. And you can't be committing any crime. So even if you're trespassing, you're not protected by this law. So, and it's always better to not engage in a confrontation. Deadly force is always a last resort.
Gotcha.
So they're both driving, especially if they're both driving fast. Like you say, pull a Top Gun, slam on the brakes, he's going to fly right by. And someone showing you a gun could be considered deadly force, but not at 60 miles an hour driving. We know it's hard enough for people to hit a piece of paper that's not moving at, when everybody's sitting still at 7 yards, and then shooting through your own windshield is, I don't know, that's a new level of stupid in my opinion. And I know law enforcement, they actually have part of their training where they practice that because it deflects the rounds if they ever have to do it.
Yeah.
But I've never done that, and I wouldn't feel comfortable even trying to do it on purpose, let alone while driving, going down a highway. You're always best to disengage, call it in. Now, here's one thing that I was listening to you talk about this. The one thing the guy did right is be the first guy to call the police.
Right.
Because just like if your kids are fighting, whoever comes to you first is the first source of perceived truth. So if you're ever in a situation where the guns are drawn and not shot, or someone shoots, be the first one to call the police, and then realize that those, as you know, from racing up to see your son who was injured, every 911 call is eternal. It never goes away, and they can be pulled and used as evidence for you or against you. So, and same with a dash cam. The fact that he made that public.
Yeah.
If there's charges filed in this, he may have, created evidence against himself.
Yes, he may have. And I think that there's an argument to be made that he might be able to get away with this without a serious repercussions. But I don't know. I mean, I would say it's more than likely he's going to be in some deep, deep doo-doo.
Yeah, well, and it depends on the prosecutor and the county he's in. And that's the other thing I've learned with helping vets with law cases is, the prosecutor of the county you're in can say, yeah, I'm gonna follow up on that and press charges, or I'm gonna dismiss it based on the situation.
Right.
So, perspective. Every round you shoot goes somewhere, right?
Right.
So where do those rounds go? Was he in a neighborhood? Was he out in the middle of the country? Was he going down a highway? Like those rounds could have. They did go somewhere.
Right, they sure did.
And he's responsible for those wherever they end up.
I think he's in trouble. I think this guy's in trouble.
Yeah. Probably.
All right. Again, call Steve 616-204-1705. Say hello to him and sign up for the November 7th thing class on a Saturday. And then the Black Friday thing is also going on. It's all at Prince Arming's Facebook page, but you can get to it through my page and just click on events. My final question for you. Can you tell me with some degree of accuracy the last year that you said a swear word?
Oh, I've sworn this year. I just don't do it on purpose. Like,
wait, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's an accident? What are you, 5 years old? I did it on accident?
Like I threw out my back 3 weeks ago and a swear word left my lips.
That's on purpose. I don't think you know what on purpose and accident means.
Okay. I go day to day consciously trying not to swear.
Yeah.
Because Scripture says if you can't tame your tongue, your religion is worthless.
What if you spread the word of God with a wild tongue, like your old friend Eric?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
What if?
Is that good?
Are you asking me what God would say or what I would say?
I mean, if I got to the pearly gates, he said, Eric, okay, I've got a tough one with you because you spread the word of God and you tried to build my kingdom, but you used bad words at the same time. Is that going to be a problem?
I think he'll be with all of us to some degree. He loves us.
Yeah.
And he's excited whenever we tell people that Jesus died on the cross to pay for our sins.
Yeah.
And if you accept that and follow Jesus is the point, not just accept the Savior, but follow him as Lord and Savior. He loves that.
Yes. Okay,
but
good.
Just like every kid, like he loves us as our son. But if my son is doing stupid, it affects our relationship. And if he's doing good things and following my advice and being wise, then we have a stronger relationship.
Okay.
So it's a matter of obedience. It's not a matter of like, is he gonna spank you?
No, I know.
Like,
I just want to make sure that there's still hope for me in heaven.
Absolutely. It's just like you've got a son and he's made wise decisions and bad decisions.
Oh yeah, plenty of those.
And he's still your son no matter what.
Yeah.
But you're more pleased with him and you probably have a better relationship with him when he's less stupid and more obedient.
It's not my fault that Jesus made me funny as hell when I say nasty words. He did that to me.
He did? That's your spiritual gift?
That's my gift. That's that's the story. I'm sticking to it. But well, listen, I want to get with you because I have to tell you particulars about the. I tell the audience this all the time. I've become much more spiritual in the past several months, and it has to do with this kidney donation.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Did you hear about when I told you God spoke to me?
I did. That's amazing. That's awesome.
That actually happened.
I got good news for you. I served with a guy in the Army Reserves who donated a kidney, and he felt better after he donated the kidney.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if this is normal, but he said he doesn't sweat as much when he gets hot, and he doesn't get as cold when it's cold outside. I'm like, well, how do I get rid of a kidney? Because I don't like freezing my tail off when I'm trying to kill a deer.
No kidding. We'll see how it goes. Today's a big day because I was talking about my friend finds out because he's got a couple of health issues. I don't know if I think you were listening ahead of time, but today's that day. So keep your fingers crossed and say your prayers for me, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you saying his first name or not?
Not yet. Well, okay. I've let it slip a couple times, but I'm not. I haven't quite said it. So okay.
Hey, and look up Nehemiah 4:9. Nehemiah.
All right, I don't have anything to write it down. Damn it, Nehemiah 4:9. I will.
Yeah, that's the verse of the year for me. Nehemiah 4:9.
Okay, I love you.
You'll like it. Love you too, brother.
Okay, bye.
Good job.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Steve Prince, retired United States Army Major, doing the Lord's work, teaching you about how to safely shoot a pistol. And I wanted to get his take on that because I'm like, this fucking asshole. He's like, he can't be shooting through the stupid glass. What the hell? All right. that was probably the most fun I've had. Well, I've had the most fun today in a long time. I have fun every day on this show, frankly. I just love doing it, and today has been just a lot of amazing things happening. All right, where am I here? Not quite done with this. Actually, I got a text message. Let's see here. This is from one Red State Dirk. I'm like, oh no, man! If I got a text from Red State Dirk, it's gonna be one of his stupid conspiracy theories or some shit like that. Dude, the good Lord has you in a good place to help people out. You are a vessel. Thanks for being there. Well, I am very flattered by that comment, man. But I couldn't be happier. Denny writes, thanks for being the bright spot in the morning. I would say at 8, but we will just keep it to morning. Thank you. That is one half of A&D Cleaning. Denny Porter, 49% owner, who just signed up for another marketing campaign. Thank you very much. Okay. AC/DC is back. Yes! Did you hear this story? I'm so stoked about this. One of my all-time favorite bands. And this band has been through the ringer. Okay? First off, we need to look no further than the passing of Bon Scott back in the day. And they're like, we're fucked, man. We lost Bon. Holy crap. Then they did an audition with a guy named Brian Johnson, who at the time, he was busy, and I'm not making this up. You remember this clip? And when he was so hard up for money, he sang a jingle for Hoover Vacuums. Brian Johnson, You Shook Me All Night Long guy from AC/DC.
The new high-powered compact from Hoover, it's a beautiful mover. The new compact does more than beats. It also cleans, it also sweeps.
Did he say does more than beats? What?
The new high-powered compact from Hoover, it's a beautiful mover. The new compact does more than beats. It also cleans, it also sweeps.
Yeah, he said beats. It does more than beats. I don't understand the lyrics of this jingle.
Compact does more than beats. It also cleans, it also sweeps. And brushes right to the edge.
Let's just note.
Right to the edge. Changing a bag as easy as ABC.
Yeah.
New high-power compact from Hoover. It's a beautiful mover.
AC, yeah, he probably got like $50 for that. And if I remember the story, Brian Johnson's like, shit, man, this is terrible. I haven't earned any money. I suck. Everybody hates my guts. I sing like shit. I got to do a commercial for this stupid vacuum company. The song doesn't even make sense. I got to say the vacuum does more than beats, which is ridiculous, just for $50. And all of a sudden, oh my God. And there's this news that Bon Scott, my favorite band, singer of my favorite band, croaked. Son of a bitch. This is a terrible, terrible day. Ring, ring. Hello. Yeah, this is Angus. We want you to join the band. Holy shit. Oh, my God. I better sing.
The new high-powered compact from Hoover. It's a beautiful mover. The new compact does more than beats.
He's like, yeah, all right, I'll join, but I got to go to this commercial for Hoover.
It also cleans. It also sweeps. And brushes right to the edge. Right to the edge. Changing a bag as easy as ABC. The new high-power compact from Hoover. It's a beautiful mover.
And so there you go, 1980. What easily the top 10 rock albums of all time. Back in Black. My gosh. Oh, I could pretty much name. You got Hell's Bells. You got Back in Black. You Shook Me All Night Long. I know it's overplayed, but still legendary song. Have a Drink on Me. Honey, What Do You Do for Money is on that album. And then Let Me Put My Love Into You, Babe. And I think there's one called Giving the Dog a Bone, which has nothing to do with actually giving your dog a bone. It has to do with giving the old lady the bone, except they're referring to her as a dog. It's actually like Spinal Tap, how ridiculous the track list and the lyrics are, how sexually charged they are with these stupid innuendos for AC/DC's Back in Black. Track list. It's subtle and ridiculous, but it's Back in Black. This is a legendary album. It's not like, with no subtlety, like frickin' Cardi B's WAP, that stupid pig. I hate that woman. I hate that song. It's so stupid. The only thing I like about the song, I take it back. I hate the song, but I like the part where the guy is going, there's some holes in this house. There's some holes in this house. Because I keep going around the house singing, there's some holes in this house. There's some holes in this house. And my Madison's like, stop it. Okay. Side 1, Hell's Bells. It starts out with a dong. Do, 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 do. I don't know how the melody goes. Hell's Bells. Great. Shoot to Thrill, which was brought back in Iron Man. Remember? Great song. Song 3, What Do You Do for Money, Honey? Basically calling some chick a whore. Giving the Dog a Bone. We already talked about that. And then followed up, side 1, Let Me Put My Love Into You, which is a real rapey sounding song. Let me put my love into you, babe. Let me put my love on the line. Ugh. I think one of the lines is let you be the cake, I'll be the knife. So all sorts of like innuendos about things getting jammed into other things. The whole song is all about, hey, let's write a song about stuffing something into something. And then that's all the inspiration for the album. Side 2, Back in Black. You Shook Me All Night Long. Have a Drink on Me. Shake a Leg. And Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. Oh my God! Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. That starts with like a big bong rip. I don't know if you ever listen to that. You hear the lighter clicking, and then you hear the bubbles, and then Brian, you can tell he's holding in his hit. And he's like, all right, yeah. He tries to almost talk like he's holding in his hit. All right. Oh my God! So there you go. The AC/DC, and basically once Back in Black came out, every like year or so, you'd have another album, which was the same thing as Back in Black. Every single song. And never before, outside of the Ramones, there's never been a band where all of the songs sound the same, but still everybody loves them. There is not an AC/DC album that I don't like. And very rarely am I interested in a band after they replace a lead singer. But I am with AC/DC. So these sons of bitches are back! Okay. So the Bon Scott thing still landed on their feet with Brian Johnson. Since that time, they've had numerous issues, though, probably most notably the passing of Malcolm Young. Malcolm died a few years ago of dementia, and it was ugly, and it was terrible, so that's very, very sad, but they are still back. And then Brian Johnson had a health issue, and I forget what it was, but I remember for the Black Ice Tour, Axl Rose, I just had this as a trivia question on Instagram Instant Trivia last night. Axl Rose filled in for Brian Johnson. That just shows you that the apocalypse is near, that they can rely on somebody like Axl Rose, who when he was younger couldn't even show up for a gig. And then there was the incident with drummer Phil Rudd. Woof. Oh, no. Fucking Phil Rudd. Oh, boy. First of all, it all started way back when they kicked him out of the band back in the 1980s. AC/DC vocalist Bon Scott died in 1980. His close friend, Phil Rudd, was deeply saddened by that. He eventually parted ways with the band in 83 following the recording of Flick of the Switch. The split was partly the result of his own personal problems as well as a conflict with the band's rhythm guitarist, founder Malcolm Young, which, by the way, there's a behind the music about AC/DC that you must see. If you've ever been a fan of this band, even if you're not, it's just incredibly interesting how this band did their thing and how, like the name, People are like, well, that stands for Antichrist devil children, man. Everybody knows that they're satanic worshipers. It couldn't be further from the truth. But they play that up on the Highway to Hell. They like, the rumor started. They go, let's go with it. They call the album Highway to Hell. And Angus has horns, and he's got a devil's tail. Oh, God. No, man. When it was a family affair, when Angus's sister was making his schoolboy outfit, for some reason on the sewing machine, it said it was an AC/DC sewing machine. It could take both currents, and don't know why, but they said that's the name of the band. Apparently, I think that's it. I might be getting some of that. I might be simplifying it too much, but that was it. All right. And then they're in the late 70s, their music was the inspiration for serial killer Richard Ramirez, who terrorized, was it 70s? Might have been the early 80s. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it was the 80s. But Bon Scott was long since gone, but still Richard Ramirez was a huge AC/DC fan, and he would listen to their music while he's killing people. So much so that they used the defense used AC/DC music as a reason. They said, well, yeah, but they're devil worshippers, and AC/DC told this crazy fuck to do it. Clearly, we must be charging AC/DC with this crime. It was terrible. In fact, the song Night Stalker, I forget, that might have been on the Highway to Hell album, was the one song, and that's how the guy got his name, as the Night Stalker killer. AC/DC is like, what the fuck? All we are is a rock band, a blues-based rock band. Leave us alone. Anyway, Rudd left the band, okay? Actually, he was fired as a conflict with Malcolm. It escalated to become physical. Rudd had completed his contributions to the album, Flick of the Switch, and then a session drummer came in to complete the work, and then Simon Wright was later hired as Rudd's permanent replacement. Remember that. Rudd then retired to New Zealand and went into a different line of work, owning and running a helicopter company. All right. And so that was it. Then he returned for the Razor's Edge. Thunder! Thunder! All right. Then, let's see. Did he get in more trouble? Let's see. Yeah, I know he got in more trouble because, shit, where is it? Personal life. Here it is. First of all, December 2010, AC/DC drummer Phil Rudd convicted of possessing 25 grams of marijuana. No big deal. On his boat in New Zealand. That was eventually went away. No big deal. At a restaurant on the 30th of July, 2011, it was announced the drummer had purchased and opened a marina restaurant. Called it Phil's Place. Restaurant closed temporarily, and then it reopened, and then in 2014 ordered to pay more than $70,000 to 3 former employees for unjustified dismissal. Then the big one. On the 6th of November 2014, Phil Rudd, drummer from AC/DC, was arrested and charged with attempting to hire a hitman, also threatening to kill, possession of meth, and possession of pot, following a police raid on his home. The charge of attempting to hire the hitman was withdrawn the following day. In April of 2015, he pleaded guilty to the remaining charges with the exception of one of the 2 threatening to kill charges, which was dropped. The band said, all right, you're out again. Let's bring back the bald dude. Chris Slade shows up on the scene for the Rock or Bust World Tour. Well, now, he apparently has put all of that behind him, I should say. Brian Johnson's health is back. And, yeah, there is a new album coming called Power Up. And there they are, man, in all their glory. Brian with a great big smile on his face. This from the official AC/DC Twitter handle. Are you ready? Hashtag PWRUF. UP. What the fuck? UP. That's what happens when you read while talking. What an asshole. After several years apart, beloved rock band AC/DC getting the group back together for a new album. The band hasn't cut a full album with the original members in a long time. However, they announced on Twitter Wednesday that singer Brian Johnson, drummer Phil Rudd, and bassist Cliff Williams have rejoined to crank out a new album called Power Up, their first since 2014. The announcement came with a caption asking fans if they're ready, along with a photo showing the band looking older. They always look older, come on, but still ready to rock and roll. I'll tell you what, I saw them on that 2014 tour, and it's just awesome. My God, were they great 6 years ago, so what the hell, man, they can pull it off. And Brian's voice is I've always wondered how the hell that guy can sing that way, because it just sounds, hell, in this Hoover commercial, shit.
You high-powered compact from Hoover. It's a beautiful mover. The new compact does more than beats. It also cleans. It also sweeps and brushes right to the edge. Right to the edge.
Imagine Brian's like,
as easy as ABC.
in the press conference, Brian's like, I hope to capture the same energy as I had in this commercial.
It's a beautiful mover.
The news comes after Twisted Sister frontman Dee Snider previously shared that the band was getting back together in a series of tweets last December. Way to go, Dee. Way to steal the thunder, you asshole. Prospect that many who have been following the living band members may have thought was impossible. Rudd has not toured with the band for several years due to legal issues. Bass player Williams announced his retirement in 2016. And then, of course, Malcolm's passing. 2020 marks the 40th anniversary of Back in Black. My gosh. That album has sold more than 50 million copies worldwide. Man, I am stoked with that news. Fantastic. AC/DC. Okay, I've got a little bit more to talk about on this podcast. Stick with me. It includes a story about the visitors we will be having at the Eric Zane Show podcast household tomorrow. But first, the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage says if you need a mortgage, now is a great time. They're always saying that. They're always saying it's a great time to get a mortgage. It's been that way for so long because interest rates are low. Okay, you're going to get a low mortgage, as low as humanly possible. If you talk to the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Now, truth be told, yes, you can get a low rate from any person who does mortgages. But you see, Mario's my guy. Okay, so it's super important that you at least give him a sniff. That's all I'm asking. You can call your cousin who does mortgages. You can call the person you know who did a previous mortgage for you. I get that. But, shop around. That's worth your time, isn't it? Do your diligence. Reach out to Mario at his desk, 231-332-6505. If by chance he doesn't call you right back, or if the voicemail is full or he's not at his desk, call me. Text me, email me, and I will shoot a battleship bit of artillery right over his bow and say, hey, talk to this guy. He's been trying to get a hold of you, dum-dum. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, and I say that because he is so busy doing so many things right now that I don't want you thinking that he's not thinking about you. He is, okay? And especially if you're looking for a first-time mortgage. That's tough. Not that you won't get it. I'm just saying it's tough on you because you don't know what to expect. You're like, oh, Jesus, I've been paying rent. That's all I can afford is rent. No. You can afford a mortgage. You just got to call. 231-332-6505. If you're going up north, go to Baldwin Ace Hardware. They are nestled at the edge of the Manistee National Forest. They bring you my Queen of the Forest segments with my lovely better half, Diana. Baldwin Ace Hardware is a terrific mom-and-pop business, and it's an Ace Hardware, for God's sake. You know you're going to get all the expertise that goes along with all the amazing things that you get there that you can also get at any big box store. But who the hell wants to go to a big box hardware store? My God, a home improvement dump. Screw it. Go to Baldwin Ace Hardware and mention my name to either Mike or Jennifer Gilmurray. Say, I heard about you. I know about you because of Eric's stupid, shitty podcast. He's going to laugh in your face and say, all right, go get yourself a pack of Dippin' Dots over there in the freezer and let's go buy a grill or something. Thank you, Baldwin Ace Hardware. And last but certainly not least for the day, my friends at A&D Cleaning and another amazing mom and pop, Amy and Denny. This allows Denny to go bowling. We want to keep Denny bowling. Amy cleans the houses. Denny helps her when he can, and then he goes bowling. 616-550-3644 if you need an estimate on what it takes to get the number one home cleaning service in all of West Michigan working for you. Hire them by calling Amy at 616-550-3644. She's awesome, super friendly. You'll love her. Your house is going to look great. Won't smell like dog or butthole like mine does. Okay? And they also bring you Daisy. They actually sponsor the dog. Here she is, Daisy. And I just noticed her tongue is hanging out awesomely. I need to see on the live stream if it's showing, and it is. Look at that. The tongue is right there. I'm gonna lean over and touch it. Let's see if she even notices it. Hang on. I'm going to get this mic. Touching it. She's like, what are you doing? What are you doing to me? Okay. She did that. Ah, she's adorable. She's a princess. 6 years old now. She's like, yeah, thanks for waking me up, jackass. Okay. Thank you, Denny. Thank you, Amy. Man, I cannot believe what I did last night and today. Okay. So we have a loved one whose mom just died. So that's awful. And it was terrible. So, I told you on the last podcast, we fired up the meal train. And the best comfort food you can possibly have is the Slaughter the Turks Armenian meatballs. Okay. Now, I guess you can kind of get the recipe by just me saying it, but I have the recipe. If you want it, I'll actually email it to you personally. Because I actually went to my old email because I forgot some of the ingredients. So yesterday, I went to the store. It cost me $9. I had to get a pound of ground beef, half a pound of sweet Italian sausage, or actually a pound, but you only use a half. And then I got a Vidalia onion and what else? Oh, some tomato paste. So then I set to making it. I'm going to make the food. I'm going to deliver the sausage or the meatballs and the sauce or the gravy, as my Italian friends in New Jersey like to call it. And then that's it. I'm going to make the noodles and have the garlic bread. And here you go. Oh, my God, I'm so sorry for your loss. I love you. So here you go. Okay, that's it. It's easy. So, I take the meat. And I got the two types of meat in the bowl, and then in another bowl, I crack an egg. I put a half a cup of whole milk in there. I add a half a teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper. While I'm doing that, I've diced the Vidalia onion, and I put the olive oil in the cast iron with 3 cloves of minced garlic, and I put all that onion in there, and then I slowly cook them. Don't throw it on high. You can't be in a rush when you make this stuff. Everything takes time. You slowly cook those onions. The whole house fills with the aroma of sweet Vidalia onions with a little bit of garlic. The house just smells fantastic. As those onions become translucent, you're sitting there and you take that egg milk mixture and you chop up a piece of white bread, actually cut white bread. Those are the breadcrumbs, a slice of white bread. You put that in there. You whip all that up, you dump it in with the meat, you wash your hands, and then you smash all of that together, man. Now, I found out after the fact that I forgot my 3rd cup of grated fresh Parmesan cheese. So when I'm making the meatballs, it dawns on me like, oh, shit, I left the cheese out, son of a bitch. That was an omen for things to come. That was actually like, okay, you've already wrecked this recipe by key ingredient is that cheese. If you don't have that cheese, it tastes like shit Chef Boyardee nonsense. You got to have that cheese. I'm like, fuck. All right. I just got to make them. Make them into a ball, a little bit bigger than a golf ball. Got about 15, 20 meatballs out of this deal. I got a big-ass cast iron, Actually, it's the same one that I'm cooking the onions in. Pull the onions out, put them aside, the onion, garlic, get the heat going again on some more olive oil, and I put the meatballs in there. It's going to take you about 20 to 25 minutes to brown these meatballs because you got to do it carefully. Okay? You can't just put them in there and then, turn them with if you're an idiot, you take a wooden spoon and you, try to move them. No, you don't do that, okay? You must very, very carefully. First of all, you get must be metal spatula so you can get under the meat. If you don't have a metal spatula, you're going to leave a little bit of caramelized meat on the pan. You want that on the meatball because it tastes good, jerk. You get under each meatball very gently and you turn it over. Then you brown that side. You brown it. You don't cook it through, jerk. You brown it. Now you have two sides of the meatball. Again, it's round, but it's kind of getting a little type of shape to it. You don't want a lot of shape to it. You want to be careful here. While that's going on, in a big pot, you put 24 ounces of diced tomatoes. You put 6 ounces of tomato paste. You put a half a cup of water, a tablespoon of sugar, a half teaspoon of oregano, a half teaspoon of pepper, a half teaspoon of salt, the onions, and the garlic. Maybe not all of those onions because the Vidalia is usually a pretty big onion. If you don't want it that oniony, don't put that much in there. Okay. You put that in there, low heat, lid. You're still browning. Anything that's pink becomes brown. Okay? You gotta gently turn these things. If you start to move it all around the stupid cast iron pan or whatever you're using to brown this damn shit, it's gonna be a mess and they're gonna break apart. You must be careful with the meatballs. Take your time, jerk. Okay, this is a historically famous recipe. Why do I say that? How could that possibly be? Well, I'll tell you why. Because it was in Princeton, New Jersey at about 2002 when our stupid radio station at the time decided to pass along, hey, Italian meatball contest, go against the top chefs and media celebrities. So people at the radio station, they made their dumb recipes. They all sucked shit. I went and researched it, and I said, I like this recipe, and I like this recipe. I like this recipe. So I took all these recipes, put it together, okay, to make one big recipe that I called the Slaughter the Turks Armenian Meatballs. And I knew when I was making it that it was really, really good. I was sitting in my house in Jackson, New Jersey on Beam Avenue making this thing. I got 3 little kids. Diana's at work at a restaurant, and here I am over the stove making this recipe, and I knew I was crushing it because I took my time. Back in my saucepan, I add all those ingredients. I add 3 bay leaves into the tomatoes while I'm browning the meat. Meatballs finally get browned. Then you take the meatballs and you carefully place them in the sauce. Lid, low heat, stir it every 10 minutes. Gently. Especially at first gently, because again, those meatballs aren't cooked. They're going to break on you. You don't want to break them. It's got to be perfect. Go into the fridge and get half of a carrot. This is important. If you don't put the carrot in there, the second they take a bite of your shit, it's going to burn a hole in their stomach because of the acid. Okay? And they're going to be like, what the fuck? I got to go to the hospital. The carrot absorbs all the acid, jerk. That's why you put it in there. Who doesn't know that? All right? You can also take all of this and put it on low in a crock pot and just leave it. It's all thin and stupid. You just give it time. Slowly, those diced tomatoes, they fall apart and they just become part of this slurry of awesomeness. And you just keep stirring it. Every time you open that up, you see that all that steam come out, you're losing water. Keep it up. Losing water. You want to lose water. Until you get to the consistency, that's perfect. You'll know it. I can't tell you that. I can't tell you the perfection. You must experience this on your own. This all takes hours. The lid comes off every time, a little more steam. Sometimes the condensation forms on the underside of the lid. You can just go right over the sink and shake that. All that water goes into the sink. That's going to save you time because more water leaving the food. Don't do it too long because you don't want this like fucking sloppy Joe mix. It must have the integrity of a fine, and it is fine. This is fucking great food. Spaghetti sauce or gravy. Okay? Trust me on this. This is such a great recipe. And I know that because while I knew I was crushing it in New Jersey when I was making it, I took that shit to work. And all these other Italians are at the radio station thinking they're hot shit. And I'm like, you guys are so dead. And I'll never forget it because it was on the radio on our sister station. We had some shitty AM station. And it was all on the radio. I'm there with Greg and Chris Rollins from WPST. And they're giving the top 3. And I remember the chef. They actually had this Princeton, New Jersey chef who was just a champion cook. And he's one of the judges. And they interviewed him. And this lady, I forgot her name, last name. First name was Pat. She works on this shitty AM station. It's called like Money AM 1410. Rush Limbaugh in the afternoon. Money talk all day. So, who cares? She's like interviewing the chef. And she goes, okay, so what do you think? And he goes, well, we had some bad. This is like the interview before the judge. We had some very, very bad ones and some really, really, really good ones. But one was awesome. All right, in third place. And I'm like, I know I'm top 3 because I ate it. I knew it was that good. Seriously, I'm not just saying that like trying to sound like an arrogant, like I'm Trump or something like that. I knew this was really, really good, and it is. When they said third was someone else, I knew I won. So I'm like, fucking take it in, man. You worked your ass off on this recipe, and you're about to be, you called your shot. You were strutting around like the big dick on campus telling all these losers that their shit sucks and yours rules. And I was right. And in second place with this, and then I'm like, here it comes. And I was like, yes, bring me the news. Bring me the news. And nobody believed me at this point, but I knew it. Greg and Chris like, yeah, whatever. Chris Rollins like, yeah, shut up, you stupid fucking big-nosed idiot. Number 1, Eric Zane. Yes! Oh, my God. So awesome. I stood up, and you hear Greg laughing his ass off. It was the audio does exist somewhere. Greg's got it. Maybe one day I'll be lucky enough to get my hands on that. But man, and then that was it. That is the story behind the world famous Slaughter the Turks Armenian meatballs. Why am I telling you this? Last night I made it, and I made it well, kind of. Like I said, I left the cheese out. That's the problem. So it's going to be a little fucky. Last night, as I was getting all that amazing news from Joe Martinez, I turned off the heat. And I took the lid off a little bit of the crock pot because I wanted it to cool, because you don't want to just go right from crock pot to cooler because it's too sudden of a change. You want it to drop on its own in the room for, I don't know, a half hour, no big deal. And then you put it in the fridge. Fuck. I woke up this morning. And there's my fucking sauce. I did not put it in the fridge. It was out all night. It ruined it. It's over. Oh, no. There it was. Naked to the world in front of every kind of girl. There it is, man, and it's no good. You can't serve that. People would get sick. Food at room temperature for an hour is bad, for God's sake. You can't leave it out overnight. The cat probably stuck his dick in there. Shit. So I was like, oh, fuck. Opened up the lid of the trash, dumped it all in, ran the water in the crock pot, and said, fuck. Well, back to the drawing board. If any of you want that recipe, send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com, or I will just, I've done this before. I'll repost it at In the News of ericzaneshow.com, and I will put it in the show notes so you can click on the link and then get it yourself. Try to follow the ingredients. Don't forget the cheese. Take your time and get ready for an award-winning Slaughter the Turks Armenian meatballs recipe to be served at your table. Okay, I want to end with this. Tomorrow, a sweet young man by the name of Kenny will be arriving at the household. So let's bring him in here. Hey, Siri. Call Kenny. No. Oh, yeah, great. Zane's going to Kenny again. I think I'll get mad over stupid shit because Zane's talking to Kenny.
Hey, man.
Hey, is that true that people, like, get mad in the audience because I talk to you? Is that really a thing?
I don't know.
No? Or you don't want to say?
Well, I don't really know, man.
I thought.
I mean,
so.
I hope not.
I hope not too. I love talking to you, but I bring it up, Kenny. I bring you up because as you'll be leaving for Michigan tomorrow. Is that right?
Yeah, man. Honestly, we'll be leaving pretty early because I don't know how it's going to go with having all my children with me, even though 2 are adults.
Yeah.
It's going to be probably way more. I gotta go pee.
Well, yeah. What you do? Make sure you do this. Okay, limit the liquid consumption. You know.
Oh yeah.
So just actually deprive her of it. You know. So that will, because she's 7. Yes.
No, my youngest is 8.
Okay.
But she's like the size of a 6-year-old or even a 5-year-old. She's tiny.
Oh my God! Well, I cannot wait to see you. I wanted to go over the sleeping arrangements with you, Kenny.
Okay. Well, did you get my book of a text last night?
No, I didn't. Well, if I did, I'm sure I did, but I didn't look at it. There was all sorts of things going on. I apologize when that happens, and I know that happens way too much. I mean, everybody knows I get going like a million miles an hour and I miss shit all the time. What is the news?
I was just trying to let you know that I didn't want you guys going into too much trouble for us, and that I mentioned that sometimes we go and visit my parents 2 hours away, and we'll go for an overnight trip.
Yeah.
And we all just, I mean, they got the couch with the little fold-out thing, footrest, and
yeah.
And we just crash on the couch, and, nobody ever complains.
Don't worry about that. Fuck that. Listen to this. Because Madison, she's spending the night at a friend's house, okay? So you and Derek get to sleep in her room.
How does she feel about that?
Oh, she says she's fine, but she wants to make sure that you don't pound your pud.
Okay, no.
Okay, so no pud pounding. So and here's how it goes. You guys don't even have to share a bed, because I know I would hate sharing a bed with my son. That'd be way weird. I don't want to do that. But so what happened is, you'll jump on the bed, and then Derek has I've got one of those air mattresses, and it's awesome.
Okay.
So that's where the boys are going to sleep, and then the girls are going to sleep in the room that is downstairs. Used to be Jim's room, and so it's right off of a bathroom, and so that's where they're going to sleep. And there's a bed in there. One of those. I've got an inflatable double bed. It's like actually a queen size bed, but you inflate it, and it's like way high. It's awesome. So yeah, that's it.
Well, that's cool, man. That's wow. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's good. And by the way, and paintball's on me. Whoever plays, that's taken care of.
Oh, what?
Yes, yes, of course.
Man.
I wouldn't, Kenny. It's called the "Oh my God, we killed Kenny." I can't make you pay. I can't make you pay for your own tit death. So, yeah,
I appreciate it, man. It's just gonna be me and Derek for paintball. I couldn't talk Rachel into it.
Oh, okay. All right. So, all right, that is all happening. And then what did I? Okay, so what time do you think you'll be in? Because that's like an 8-9 hour drive. You're probably be in before the podcast because the podcast starts at 7 with Ben.
Yeah, I was really hoping to be, if I could be like a fly on the wall for that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
So,
And then what we'll do is Friday night. Okay, I've got a fire pit in my backyard. We'll fire up the fire pit, and I'll show you how to make a hobo pie.
I still have no clue what that is. That's
Oh, my
awesome.
God. I'm telling you, man, I'm a hillbilly. I do all sorts of hillbilly shit. So you're going to love this.
I guess you're more of a hillbilly than I am.
Absolutely.
I'm really not.
Okay. All right, so that's it. I just wanted to inform you of that, and I'm stoked about it.
Hey, man, us too. We never really had a trip like this at all. Like when my oldest two, when they were younger, I mean, I could barely, scrape by every week. We never went anywhere,
Yeah, oh yeah,
So,
that's a very real thing. Not everybody has that, and that's has that chance. So that's well, take it all in and just enjoy it, man. Make sure you pack some snacks for the kids.
Oh yeah,
All right.
already working on getting ready for everything, and I got to pack up the little Super Nintendo deal with the joystick for Kev. I hope he likes that.
Dude, he's gonna love that, and
Oh,
I'm gonna introduce the whole concept and how this went to him, and he's probably gonna start crying.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, he's gonna love that.
well, I don't want him to cry, but yeah.
Well,
hope he's
because
happy.
I mean, it's just been it's been a really difficult time for him since his brother passed. We're talking July 30, so we're just over 2 months from that.
I can't imagine.
And I mean, it's there's been some getting used to living here, though it's been a fine thing. I'm glad those two are together. We're all together, but as long as he washes his hands when he goes poo poo, we'll be all set.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is he showering?
We'll talk about that later. All right.
Okay. Just a reminder, real quick. Check your email
Right now?
before the end of the show.
All right. Okay, I will. I'll do it while I'm talking to you. Okay.
All right.
Is it from? So it's an email from you.
Well, yeah, it was just a little.
Oh,
reminder.
yeah. You asked me a question earlier in the podcast, and it's a key. It's another M. Night Shyamalan moment in the story about, and stay here with me, Kenny. It has to do with the whole business of. So here I am, being informed by Joe Martinez that there is going to be a second furnace install, and I'm also learning of a big amount of money going to each of these recipients, and I'm getting all this information. I heard about this $1,200, which will be split 50-50, and then Diana says, "Hey, I want you to come in here and tell me what's going on." Excuse me. So I start telling her the story, and then she goes, "Yep, I know about all of this." I go, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah, actually, I created a PayPal account. Here's the $1,200 that we're going to give to those people." Kenny dealt her in on the whole thing. Holy shit. My God. So there you go. I was so glad to have that happen. And yeah, man, I just I can't express enough how fantastic of a feeling it was to know that this was happening. And man, those people, just they were so excited about it. I actually saw a video of the lady I told you about, the story about the lady who was the second recipient. The people who nominated her sent me a video of her, and she went bonkers, man. I can't really share it, but just trust me, it was ridiculously awesome. So what
cool.
What a freaking day today is. And all I need,
it's a good day, man.
All I need now is it's 10:36 my time. I should know in less than 2 hours about my pal being a recipient of that kidney. And then, that's all we got to do. And then that's it, man. What a time to be alive, huh?
Man, that's awesome. I really hope that everything checks out well for him and that's able to proceed as planned.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to think about what could happen if he was given a big no,
Yeah.
All right.
Well, hey, back to the other real quick. I talked to Joe this morning before you went on.
Yeah.
And So he told me that he had to fill you in, which, you know, I understand, but I was hoping that it would all happen live on the camera and everything on the podcast, because I don't know, just
that, you
kind of
know,
wanted you to struggle and have that. You said it was going to be hard to choose one family.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be great that at the very last second tell you, well, now, you know, one of the others that you struggled with.
Right.
Boom. You know.
Yeah. And that's true. I think that would have been absolutely amazing. However, the way it unfolded, you see, I usually need a lot of process time to put a story together in my brain. So the way it unfolded between finding out and today, it allowed me that buffer to be able to say, okay, this is how I want to tell this story, and here's the important points of it, and then express it that way. So I actually prefer that, but I definitely understand. I would have been blown away, man. Let me just tell you.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it's all worked out, and it's good to know that that it's going to be able to help.
Yep.
Someone else in need.
Okay, buddy. Well, I thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
All right, man. Take care.
See you, man. But there you go.
Right,
world famous Kenny in Nashville. Yeah. Hey, man. Gonna make me cry. Let's see. All right. Hey, man. That's it. It might have been one of my favorite podcasts to date. I've really enjoyed those. Don't be a stranger about anything. As always, reach out to me if you need just want to say hi, or tell me what you think, or tell me how much this sucks. I get it. Maybe it's not for everybody. I hope you like it, though. I worked really hard at it. It's kept the lights on for the last 2 years. Thanks so much, folks. Talk to you on Patreon. Have a great rest of your day, if this is the last time that we're going to speak to each other. Otherwise, see you on Patreon or talk to you tomorrow. Thanks again, folks. Bye-bye.